real estate. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show. But not just any edition. Today is the TGIF edition of the Real Estate Show. Why so many TGIFs? Well, thank God it's Florida, and this with the nation going through some terrible storms and the cold weather that's just gripping the nation. Thank God it's Friday, because everyone's glad that it's Friday. And for some of you, just no matter whether it's the storm or the week, thank God it's finished. And but we're not finished here on the Real Estate Show. We still got a whole bunch of stuff for you. We got a great show as we're going to recap the week. It's been, well, not to say the least, a very, very busy week, and we're going to hit the highlights of all of those things. You know, last week we talked about the 6 reasons why you should own real estate, and so we took that theme and we ran with it. Because remember last week we also broke down the 3 major factors of what you need in order to own a home. So we're going to tell you why you should own real estate. We're going to tell you how you can own real estate, and then we're going to break it down to the nitty gritty. And you know, we'll even talk about going into next week a couple of really cool things. Number one, just to give you a little sneak peek, now that we've told you all of the reasons why you should, we're giving you now the tools of how you can do it. We're going to take that to the next level, and then start talking about the investment and the income side of real estate. So we got a whole bunch of stuff to cover. Remember, our show here is live Monday through Friday, so we got 5 full days of shows to cover for you. Now, not only are we live at 5 Eastern time right here where you're listening to us, whether it be on our AM 1470, on our FM station, FM 95.3, 96.9, 106.9, also on the apps that carry those radio stations, the TuneIn app, the iHeartRadio app, the Spreaker app. All you have to do is look for WWNN 1470 Money Talk Radio, and you'll see yours truly right there pop up. And speaking about seeing yours truly, you can also watch and listen at the same time to our radio show as we broadcast it live on our Facebook page. Yes, that's right. Facebook.com/The Real Estate Show right now has the video of the version of this radio show. So also on that website for our Facebook page is an archive. So every day when we post a new show up there, as we record it live, it stays there, and then the new show goes on top of that, pushing the other one down, and the new show goes on top of that. So you can actually go back if you miss any of our shows. Just go to Facebook and you can listen to it. Now, everything is on our website, which is automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. And on that website, there's our information, there's schedules of our workshop, there's the archive of our radio show, written blog there about the radio show, and you can listen live there as well. So just look for the top of the page where it says The Real Estate Show at automaticlandlord.com, and you can listen to it live if you're there at 5 each weekday. And don't forget also our Sunday night real estate show marathon. That's right, back to back, all of our shows of the week starting at 9 p.m. You can listen to, catch up. If you missed any of our shows, that's the place to go, and that's the day to listen if you want to get deep and long into the real estate show. Basically, it's like a seminar in a radio show every single day. Now, if that wasn't enough, if it wasn't 5 shows during the week, our marathon shows on the weekend, on Sunday, we also have a number of workshops. And I want to emphasize the workshops because, as you know, it may sound like they're the same workshops, but they have been changing. And so if you've seen an old workshop, you may want to remember and come to one of our new workshops. For example, on Monday, we have our what we call our equity related workshop. We've had the equity accelerator. We've had the debt reduction accelerator. We talk about some interesting things, how you can kind of hack your finances to use your mortgage. Believe it or not, we have a special type of a mortgage that allows you to use your mortgage to help you pay off other debt. And I'm not talking just about a refinance or a debt consolidation. I'm talking about paying it all off faster. And if you're interested in attending one of those, it's Monday nights at 9 p.m. It's on Zoom. All you need is the invitation. And to get that invitation, you have to be a listener of our radio show and then text to our real estate show smart line, which I'm going to give you in just a second. Text the word equity to 561-861-2366. Once again, that's 561-861-2366. You text that word and you'll automatically be put on the list to get a link, and as long as there's space available. Now, we have a couple of folks on our team that invite folks to that workshop, and each one of us has a limited number of invitations to send out. So don't hesitate. Do it right now. Text the word equity to 561-861-2366 if you want to get rid of your debt, get rid of your mortgage, and build equity faster. That's our Monday night workshop. Tuesday night, very popular. And this one is the one that usually ends up selling out for free. But it is credit, our credit accelerator. And credit has never been more important than it is now. You know, banks are more picky, more choosy. In fact, that's going to come up in our topic later. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, you know, that we just hit record credit. The United States is now more in debt during this pandemic. Now, what's going to be fun about when I talk about this in a little bit is that it is both good news and bad news in there. And anybody could take that topic right there and say, oh my God, we're in trouble. And somebody else could turn around and say, oh my God, things are getting better. So whatever your OMG is, you want to learn more about what's going on with the credit. And if you want to attend our credit accelerator, now this is how we help folks take their credit from 400 all the way up to 700. So if you're 400, 500, or 600, let's get you into the 700 scores. And we can do that as quickly as 30 days, depending on your situation, but as quickly as in 30 days. And that's called our credit pop. And if you want to learn more about that, first we have to do what's called a credit x-ray. And we have special software that when I look at your credit report inside of our x-ray report, it automatically tells me what is the maximum credit score that you could get within the next 30 days. And if it's something that we want to do, then we can make those adjustments and then send it for rescore. And within 30 days, you may go from a 640 to a 700 score. And so I invite you, if you're interested in learning anything about our credit workshop or our credit pop or our x-ray, type the word credit to 561-861-2366 and you'll get an automatic response. That's 561-861-2366. Do it right now. Don't forget about it. Let this thing benefit you, because as I mentioned many times, that your credit score is probably the most important single number that you have. More important, it obviously is related to your Social Security number, but your Social Security number doesn't get you loaned, doesn't get you turned down or approved for loans. Your Social Security number, unlike your credit score, can get you turned down for a job, for insurance, car, home, can get you turned down for loans, credit cards. And if you have the right credit score, doors that you've never seen opened to you before will begin to open. Just ask anybody who has 800 plus credit scores and they'll tell you. Then that's our Tuesday night. And then on Wednesday night, we have different workshops. That's probably our most flexible night when it comes to our workshops. Thursday night was a really big new change in our Thursday nights. We've always done our big round table, which is an entrepreneur's opportunity is it was sort of a mastermind. It was a very flexible. Entrepreneurs got together, shared what they were doing that was working in business, shared what they were doing that was working in the real estate world. Many of them are real estate investors naturally, and real estate is probably one of the most entrepreneurial things that you can do. And so that was this week we had what we just initiated called the University Series. Now the University Series is really neat because, again, still a special place in our heart for entrepreneurs. And the University Series is talking more about options for a plan B, a side business, an evening business, a gig, as some people will call it. But what we're talking about, and each week we spotlight one particular business. And so when we do that, when we spotlight that, we have somebody who's an expert in that business talk about. Last night we talked about web centers and how to use, websites not only as an important fact. Today, if you don't have a website, then you're not even on the map, you're not in business. But how do you use that not only to maximize your business, but how do you create a business on that website about websites? And it's a really neat way to build your business using websites. And so that was our first University Series. And so we'll be having that every Thursday night. We're going to announce on Monday who our spotlighted speaker is. So you'll definitely want to tune into our Monday show, and we'll be posting that up on our website as well. And so that's our Thursday evening workshop. And so as you can see, you are listening not only to one of the greatest sources of information for real estate, but one of the hardest working folks out there trying to get you as much great information that you can use to own more real estate, own better real estate, and be more profitable while doing so. So anyway, while I'm at it, I want to say a quick thank you to those on our Facebook page. If you missed the number in the comments, Marianne just typed in the number there. The text keywords are in there so that you can refer to those. If you missed it and you're listening to the recording, they're right there in the comments. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, I want to hit the highlights of our week, starting off with our Mondays on a Mission. That's our agenda day, and that's where we lay out, all of our shows, which I've covered already in the first half, our workshops that we have. And all that is brought to you by Evergreen Management, our property management company. If you want to learn more about property management, have any questions about that, you're welcome to give us a call. And our toll-free number is 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. Well, that's our break coming up. My name is Eric Willner. I'm your host, and I'll be right back. Thank you, Marianne. So how's everybody here on our Friday? Happy hours coming up right after. We're going to have a nice little celebration for a good week and some really exciting things coming. We're growing our team, and I want to talk more about that in the next week. Okay, we got that. We covered all that. So Marianne, I sent you a new link. As you can see, we just had an app developed for our finance division that everything is now become paperless. And so you can kind of play around with that. Yeah, Big was a great meeting. It really, really was. And yes, it was recorded. And what I'm going to do is create a way for the members that attend on our Thursday nights that they can also review the past shows too. But only those that attend the regular meetings will make up the ones that they miss if they miss one or two here and there. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate. And there's a good reason for that, through good times and through bad times. Now celebrating our 22nd consecutive year on the air. And we have been through good times, through bad times, through recessions, the Great Recession, and even the great pandemic of COVID-19. And so what I recommend is bookmarking this time here, 5 o'clock every weekday evening for that little dose of vitamin real estate. And each day of the week, like I mentioned, Mondays we talk about our agenda, our theme for the week. Last week it was about the 6 reasons why you should own real estate. This week we talked a lot. We went deep on the first of the 3 major factors in buying real estate. We talked about those, that one is the down payment. And I talked about that your down payment can be anywhere between 0 and 100%, right? Put 0 down. If you're aware of the down payment programs that we have, some of the financing and even the bonus programs towards down payment. Imagine having somebody put up your down payment for you, and if you meet certain conditions or criteria, and they're not hard ones, but if you meet those criteria, those down payment can be forgiven, and it just becomes part of your equity. And if you want to learn more about that, if you missed that, first of all, listen to our Monday show. Listen to our Tuesday show also, where we actually went deep into the technical, the guidelines. It's probably one of our more technical shows, so it might have confused or maybe went a little bit too technical for some people. But that's why all you have to do if you want to get more information, or maybe even schedule a one-on-one about the down payment options that are tailored for you, is text the word DPA, or the letters DPA, to 561-861-2366. That's our automated real estate show information line, 561-861-2366. Text DPA, and we can get more information about your particular situation tailored to you. And so that's been the theme for the whole entire week. And so that Monday, of course, we set the agenda. Tuesday, we went into the guidelines and the requirements for it. Then on Wednesday, which is always our midweek report, we touched on a couple of the news articles in the news that were related to down payment, the stimulus package, that of course now is, now that we've gotten past all of the other rumblings and the election dispute and the second impeachment, that now Congress can finally turn their attention and hopefully take care of what needs to be taken care of in the area of the stimulus, the CARES, the relief packages. And more importantly, and the one thing that I think is very important to always remember, is that the root of everything, and a lot of times when people talk about the real estate market, they talk about interest rates, they talk about a lot of things, but they don't talk about the very root of it all, which is employment. Employment really has to be a focus, and getting as many people back to work as possible is key, because no job, no paycheck, nobody qualifies that way for a mortgage. And for 2/3 of America, no mortgage means no house. And so we want to empower, that's the mission here of the Real Estate Show. We want to empower as many people as possible to own a piece of the American dream, to own their own piece of the American dream. And that's why you want to listen to the Real Estate Show. That's why you want to understand the down payment, the grants, the assistance, the bonuses, and even our Work for Equity program, which are things that you probably don't hear anywhere else except for here, where we specialize in just those things. And so this week, as we continue talking about the down payment stuff, next week we're going to talk about part number 2, the credit side of the business. And then the week after that, we're going to talk about the income side of the business as well. And as you can see, our workshops all support and go into more depth in those than we can go here on the radio show. Then Thursday, because there's so much of the news about that very topic, we continue that. Thursday is always about the money, and the down payment is about as much money as you can, is about as financial as you can be when it comes to the real estate. And so we talked about that. That show there, which is sponsored also by Evergreen Management, it's a new part. So, from our sponsors, the timetofixmycredit.com, Evergreen Management, property management service. When you talk about the university series, which we'll talk even more about that coming up. But I want to jump over to another article, which is not so much a review as it is something new. But I mentioned this in the first half of the program, talking about household debt climbs to record numbers in the U.S. amid surges in mortgages. You've heard about real estate market is on fire. The mortgage industry is on fire. And what's very interesting is that you could interpret that headline as something negative or something positive. And let me tell you that U.S. credit card balances fell by the most on record last year during the COVID lockdown, as even as households increased their total debt by taking on new mortgage. So you see the debt change, and this is good quality debt, which is another reason why I've been saying all along, well, even though there are a lot of Chicken Littles out there saying that the sky is going to fall and the foreclosure tsunami is going to come, the economy is going to get wiped out, and barring something that hasn't happened yet, the outlook is actually pretty interesting. And we're going to talk about that. And what I'm showing you right now is why the quality of the debt that's out there is nowhere similar to what the quality of the debt that existed back in 2006, 7, and 8. Back then, if you could fog a mirror, you could get a loan. If you had a job, they weren't checking how much you made on the job. They gave you a loan. And the joke used to be that we were ours. We had no income verification. We had no down payment verification, no asset verification, and that we were ours from no credit in verification. Now, they had lowered the standards so much on credit. You could get a loan in the 500 with a 500 credit score. That doesn't exist today. Now you got to have good credit. And if you got good credit, the doors are open and there's lots of mortgages. And as you can see, total debt rose by $206 billion in the fourth quarter alone, bringing the annual increase to 3%, which was a total to set a record at $14.56 trillion in debt. That's what consumers out there have in debt. Which, P.S., if you think about you've heard me talk about the $11 trillion that we have recently thrown at the corona or the pandemic, the relief and everything. That if we had taken that $11 trillion and paid off at that time, 14 or so trillion dollars in debt, we would be a debt-free nation. Well, we would have transferred the consumer debt to the government, because remember that somebody is going to pay for all this. And when we transfer it to the government, who ends up paying for it all again? You know the story. But home loans, which increased 5% last year, crossed the 10 trillion. So we could have actually wiped out every mortgage to 10 trillion threshold for the first time. Credit card debt rose only slightly in the fourth quarter, obviously as people are going longer into the pandemic, but ended the year down 12%, double digits, 12% from 2019, the largest annual decline in credit card debt ever. And that was according to the New York Fed. And so changes in household debt reflected the crazy nature, the very unpredicted nature of 2020, when record low interest rates fueled a surge in mortgage refinancing. That at a time the mortgage companies couldn't even keep up with the number of applications for new mortgages. Things are a lot easier, a lot better now, a lot more subsided, because many people already have refinanced. And how much lower can you get when you're giving out new 30-year mortgages at 2%? So if you want to learn more about that stuff and how you can reduce your debt, remember that's our equity workshop on Mondays. Equity, type it to 561-861-2368. 2366. Or if just you want a general question, type discovery to the same number, discovery to 561-861-2366. Remember, on our Facebook page and at automaticlandlord.com, you can press a button and schedule an appointment to talk to me about whatever you want to talk about when it comes to the topic of real estate. Anyway, the music is coming in. That means it's time for me to go on out. That is time for Friday TGIF happy hour and all those good things. Remember, we got our Sunday night marathon starting at 9 p.m. Where we have back-to-back shows, all the recordings from this week. And then we'll be back again here live the next day on Monday. So until then, drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you, Daniel.